Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Abigail. I know a lot of people are trying to increase how much income they get, but I feel like people are focused on side hustles, property investing, personal investing in a way to increase their income. But I do think that you might be able to improve your quality of life or increase your income just by getting better benefits from the job you're already in, and also just by getting a raise directly or indirectly from the job or profession that you're already in. This might be really beneficial to the most people who are in corporate, because some of the examples I will give can be seen in the corporate field. But stick with me. Maybe there's some key or gem I'm going to drop that you've not thought of that could actually help you improve your income. Let's get right into it. So the first thought I want you to have is that you can try and increase your income through side hustles and all that, but maybe it might be really easier for you to get a raise at work rather, and you don't have to do something extra. Let's say you're a busy mom. Let's say you are so tired when you come back from work, you just can't concentrate to do any of the things you want to do on the side. You want to run an Airbnb, rent business. You want to do this and that and that. And I don't want you to feel like you are stuck with some limited income, because maybe where you actually work, you can actually improve your income through that channel. Tip 1. Get an HR representative that is a close friend or you have a close relationship with. Why? Because the HR representatives, mostly for your department, usually know the benefits that are good for the employees and the new ones that are coming into the system. So if you're constantly catching up, let's say once a month with your HR rep, or maybe there's a portal in a company that you work in where you can check the benefits, then you can see that, oh, this thing can actually help reduce my expenses here and there and there. I'll give you some examples. The first example I have is when I used to work in corporate, my company, for instance, did this loan for transport. So what they did is, if you're based in London, they will give you a loan for a season ticket for a year, which is usually cheaper than if you pay for your season ticket monthly, which is what most employees were doing. So now if you pay for your season ticket yearly, you'll probably save 100, 200 pounds, whatever it is, over the year. And they would loan you that money and be taken from your salary every month until they spread it across 12 months. So sometimes because they take it from your salary before they pay you, it also somewhat reduces your tax. It depends on how they structure it and whether it's tax efficient or not. But most companies understand that people want to save on taxes. So sometimes they make sure that it's tax efficient. The second example I'm going to give is, we used to have this portal which used to have discounts, right? And I never knew about it until an employee told me about it about 2 years after I've been working in the firm. And I used to buy so many things that I could have bought through the portal and gotten discounts, meaning I could have saved more money. Because I had no idea that it existed in the company, I never took advantage of it until after like 2 years that I was working there. So these are like some of the little things that may not put £1,000 in your pocket. It may if you spend a lot and you use all those discounts. But my point is, it can help improve your quality of life and help you to save somewhere. My next tip is to find recruiters in your field and try and build a relationship with them. Why is this necessary? So recruiters are usually motivated to move you from one place to another place, to get you a new job. And why are they motivated? Because that's how they get paid. So when you know the recruiters or find recruiters in your field, what you do is you form a good relationship with them and give them the impression that you want to move jobs. Maybe you don't want to move jobs, to be fair. Maybe you like your team, you like your manager, and you think you can see growth in the company that you're working in. But it is essential to form good relationships with a few recruiters, or even more than a few, just for you to have information. So in this case, when you start talking to these recruiters, try so hard to keep your salary quiet and try and get a range of the field that you're in, what people are getting paid out there. So let's say you know your level of seniority, you know the level of years of experience that you have, and you know your salary. Now, you don't know how much people are getting paid with your level of experience and their salaries. And the recruiters are in a field where they can find out, or they know already what the pay ranges are for people like you. So when you start speaking to them, try to get that information out of them. So let's say you are being paid 25K less than what you are actually worth. And if you tell them that, okay, I'm being paid this amount, they in their mind start thinking that if I get this lady a 10K increase, she'll be happy. But actually, you need a 25K increase for the kind of work that you're doing. So now if you tell them that, oh, this is my salary, they are looking for a slight bump for you to keep you happy so that they get paid. I hope that makes sense. So in this case, you're going to focus on grabbing information, getting as much information as you can. And you can also tell from there that these companies pay better than these companies in this particular field. In this role, if you work in these and these companies, you get paid better. So when you have all that information, now you're in a good position to make your decisions. You can now say, should I interview? Should I try and leave my current job? Or should I try and get information to negotiate with my current employer to increase my salary? So in this case, you can even start interviewing, even if you're not planning to leave. It's such a powerful thing to start interviewing because you get to understand what's going on out there. So that even if when you want to leave, you still have a sense of how to interview. Because sometimes people stay in a job for so long, they actually don't know how to interview to get a new job. And if you are not improving your interview skills in your field, when you actually now want to leave a field or leave a job, you realize that you're a bit old and rusty. And if you are not even putting the CV together the way that the algos will pick it up, or the way that like the systems will pick it up and forward it over to the recruiter or the employer, then you are not able to move and you get a bit distressed. So you need to make sure that you're having ongoing conversations quarterly with recruiters to have a sense of whether you are being underpaid. The next thing, as I said in a video that I did before on how to improve and have career progression, you need to have constant conversations with management in the company that you work in. And you need to be good at your job. That is non-negotiable. Make sure you're good at your job. Make sure you have information from outside. And then when it's time for reviews, you can actually say, I've done this and this and this and this. I've been keeping you updated on this and that and that. And now you know that I'm a good asset to this company. I've noticed and I've done my research and I've realized that my peers in the field are getting paid this much and I'm getting paid in this range. So because of that, I would like to get an improvement in my compensation. Now, when you structure it that way, it's so hard for whoever you're speaking to or whichever management to say, oh, you are amazing asset to the firm, we agree, but we don't want to compensate you as much as you are worth. Because now they know that you're talking to people outside. They know that you understand what's going on in the industry. And they know that if they joke around with you, you will leave. It's even greater when you already have an offer from another company and you're like, another company is willing to give me this amount and you guys pay me this amount and I'm going to be in a similar role. Therefore, I would like for us to review my compensation and this is what I'm looking for. And now people will take you more seriously. My next tip is to network in and out of your team in the company you work for, to the extent that people are comfortable telling you the salary ranges that they are getting, for you to be well informed, to know whether you are in the right role in your company or not. I'll explain. So there are some people who are in particular roles and think they should be compensated in a particular range. But sometimes for the company that you work in, they do see some people as revenue generators and some people as costs. And what they think is, we need to compensate those who are revenue generators more so that they are motivated to bring in more revenue. And we need to find a way to reduce our costs. That's how companies work. So if you are networking in and out of your team, you get a sense of, okay, this division, this role is well regarded in this company. And therefore, if I'm sitting in another role where it is not well regarded or it is viewed as a cost and I'm pushing for a salary increase, there might not be a budget for that. But if I network my way into this role where they are motivated, they are being paid well enough to go and get more money, then I think that I will bag a better salary when I'm there. And now what you do is, when you're networking in these, you also try and find out if they've got headcount, if they've got opportunity to hire. And also you find a way to, network with other people in that particular team that you've identified. Because when people want to hire internally, they want to hire people that they are used to. They want to hire people that they've got a relationship with. They want to hire people that they think that they can do the job. So if you are able to at least establish relationships with people in the team, then all you have to prove is that you can do the job. Which, if you put your head to it and work towards it and learn well enough, you should be able to. So you would be in the same company, and because you now moved teams, you are earning almost double what you used to earn. And I used to see this in my company a lot. It boils down to networking. And if you are interested in increasing your salary, then you need to work on that. One other thing which I recently found out that I thought was amazing was negotiating unpaid time off. So I knew someone in my company who had done this, and what they did was they were able to prove over a period of time that they were so good at their job. They were delivering what they were supposed to do within a week in 4 days. So in that case, they asked their manager that, hey, I know I've talked about salary increase and it's not happening. I know I've talked about increasing my paid time off and it's not happening. Because you and I know how well I am at my job, and the fact that I am actually outperforming what is expected of me, I would like to negotiate unpaid time off, which was amazing for her because now she was able to get some extra 5 days leave where she wasn't paid, but she was using that towards her side hustles or towards childcare or whatever. But at least she managed to get that in because she was able to show that she was doing enough, more than enough in her role, which I think is one of the amazing gems that you can use to also improve your life or to try and get, some money through other means by using your time elsewhere. The last tip I'm going to give is to try and negotiate the perks that you get in your company. What does this mean? So sometimes a company says you need to be in the office 4 days a week. But if you're a good asset to the company, you're doing such a great job, and during your review, let's say you've been talking about an increase and it's not coming, you can now start negotiating for other perks like, I know the team comes into the office 4 days a week. I am exceeding my goals, and I'd like to come into the office 3 days a week instead of 2 days so that I can save up on my transport costs, for instance. So if you have such a conversation and your manager is reasonable and says, actually, that works for us, you can now save your commuting time, which you can dedicate to maybe a side hustle. And in that case, you are indirectly improving your salary. Or some people are so good at their jobs, or they usually come back after maybe a sick leave or a maternity leave and negotiate maybe 1 day, Friday, every other week off. That is actually an impeccable way of also increasing your net income, because out of 52 weeks, you've got 26 weeks on Friday that you don't go to work. That is a lot of time to do something else. And if you are able to negotiate that, you will indirectly try to increase your salary with that extra Friday that you're not going into work. Another way to also improve your perks is to try and negotiate paid time off. So in my company that I used to work in, for instance, you start off at 25 days official leave, and as you get promoted, you get to 28 days, 30 days, and all that stuff. Let's say you're going into a review and you're asking for a salary increase and that's not happening. You can now ask that, okay, we know we both agree that I'm doing a good job and I'm trying to get some benefits or a better compensation, but the company cannot stomach that, or the company cannot give that now. Is it possible to negotiate maybe 2 additional days of paid time off? So now you get 2 additional days of leave that you can use to generate income elsewhere. You need to think of yourself as a business, as I've said before, and see how you can either tweak here or tweak there to make it work for you. Let's just say that you take every other Friday off and you just use that Friday 8 hours for Uber. It's still some income coming in. You just use that extra 8 hours that Friday for a babysitting job, for something that benefits you to be able to get more income to save more. I hope all these tips were helpful, and I hope somebody has learned something new to help improve their quality of life or just improve their bottom line. It's been Abigail. Subscribe to my channel. Let's get the conversation going down in the comments.